Biggest challenge as an artist is painting a loved one, especially your wife. You don't want to mess that up. So I decided to give it a shot, put myself on the edge of doing a painting of my beautiful wife, Shana Levenson, who's also an artist. I did a 4-hour painting of her. I'm going to post a raw footage onto the Patreon page. Definitely check it out. It's a great way to support the channel. I'm going to make sure if I can try to do this explanation of how I paint her in only 10 minutes. So let's run it. So I start by getting the top of her head, her eyes, and her chin in. Thinking about the structure in the middle also, the eyes, nose, and mouth. That's kind of our anchor point, is the eyes, kind of measuring out from there. And so I use very long lines, straight lines that are very linear in the beginning to knock everything in. And then I start to come into the shadows. And what that kind of does is it establishes a structure for the painting that we can kind of build off of and also change over time. There's going to be a lot of adjustments to the features, the mouth and the nose, but not really the eyes. Maybe the orbital cavities, the shape of the eye will slightly change, like maybe bring in the brow or make the brow higher, or the angles might be slightly different. But other than that, the eyes are going to stay in the same spot. So that way everything kind of builds around it. So once I get the shadows in, I start to think about the halftones. And I try to go pretty chromatic in the beginning, just pure color and patches of color, just kind of these broad strokes that help me to think about just kind of knocking everything in and thinking of having an underlayer of an imprimatura basis for building the light on top of the halftones. Now, I'm really benefiting to the wet into wet technique as well, where I clean my brush off and I use it to move colors into colors to soften edges. So I pull in the whites of the sclera, which I'm looking at the reference, which I have right here. And I don't love how light the sclera is, the white of the eyes. So I put that in just to kind of find the placement of the irises, but I'm going to probably make those darker later on. I'm also looking at it from this perspective, and I see that I feel like the orbital cavity could be a little bit more pinched, it's not as tall in the reference. So I'm definitely going to fix that. So I'm moving also in between thicker brushes, bigger brushes, and smaller brushes. So I put things in with the large brush, and then I used a small brush to kind of refine the edges of the drawing and how the drawing should fit in. So the small brush that I'm using is an Isabey watercolor brush. It's a 72ZZ, I believe. I'm going to have a link to that below. I don't think you can get them in the United States anymore, unfortunately. That, and I'm also using a rosemary evergreen brush in a filbert to knock in the large areas on the painting. So I kind of only use 2 or 3 brushes. So coming in here, refining the shapes and the structures. Again, a lot of pressure because I'm painting my wife, right? If she looks at it, you don't want her to be like, oh no. There was one time when we were dating, I drew her from life, and I didn't do a very good job. And we still talk about that painting of how bad I did. Coming in with a large brush again, moving in from wet into wet, again, developing out these halftones. Now I'm going to start thinking about the lights a little bit more. So since I'm going to do that, I'm going to also knock in the background just to give us some context to what the light colors are going to do in the skin. And the idea is to have her slightly emerge from the space. Coming in with the lights again, using that rosemary brush, just to kind of sculpt out these large shapes, making everything, kind of whittling it down into being more accurate as we go. I can see that her chin was a little bit wide. I fixed that. See, I lowered that brow ridge a little bit in the orbital cavity. Again, using that small brush to draw and fix my drawing errors, the big brush to knock in big colors. And then I'm going to eventually start thinking about broken color. I don't really think about broken color all that much in an Alla Prima painting. Mostly thinking about local color first within the painting, then broken color. And in Alla Prima, I don't usually get that far into the broken color. You know, that's like a color stroke next to a color stroke that helps to vibrate. Whereas local color is more of the overall tonality of the color. Thinking about the shapes in here with the lights, constantly whittling away at the eyes, darken that sclera like we were talking about. thinking about the curve of her head, just thinking a little bit about kind of framing up again the drawing. Again, this is painted on a gessoed piece of moleskin, just from a moleskin that I found in my studio when I was moving out of my studio into the new space. I found this moleskin that was like, I think the pages are like 11 by 14, maybe around that size. So they're pretty good to do these studies. I did the study of Vanessa also on the same size paper. Starting to work out the lips a little bit. Again, constantly refining. Now, I don't do a window shade method. I tend to work on the entire painting all at once rather than start at the top and window shade down the figure. I want to have everything kind of develop all at once rather than just sitting and rendering an area out and then rendering another area and then rendering another area. I want all the pieces to fit together organically. And so I kind of work around as if I don't want to stay in one area for too long. I want to kind of get my thoughts out on that area and then move on to the next area. So it kind of pulled some texture into the forehead. I'm going to soften out the forehead a little bit in color-wise. Again, everything's moving towards these lights. I want to have her emerge from the background is the idea. Coming in here, refining what's going on in the neck. Now, if I was doing a real painting, I could probably take this painting to a quote-unquote finish for me, because I think even though it started alla prima, I can start to still really build on the painting and get this to a finish that I usually do. That would probably take me, I'd probably spend another 4 hours. It's interesting. I tend to start fast and finish slow when I work. How do you guys do that? Do you guys start fast and finish slow? Do you start slow and finish fast? I'd love to hear what you guys think. Also, if you guys can think of any other subjects you want me to paint, I'd be interested to hear that too. Coming in with that brush and shaping things out again. Pulling in more of the lights up in the forehead. Pulling the light as it pulls on that cheek. So we're going to try to get through this demo in less than 10 minutes. Give you guys all my secrets to alla prima painting. Refining what's going on with the underplane of the eye, how that pulls into the cheek. That edge of the cheek is really amazing, really elusive also. And using it kind of that wet into wet technique where I dry my brush off and I don't have any paint on the brush, but I'm able to manipulate the paint that's already on the painting. That's really important technique to use. Kind of where the shoulders are, where this cast shadow kind of pulls in on her neck a little bit, define what's going on there. I want to make this more about the portrait though for you guys. Again, softening out. I used a big brush there to soften everything out. Going into the eyes a little bit more. Refining these shapes. Slowly building it so it looks just like her. As best I can. Hopefully she'll be pleased with this painting. I might give it to her for an anniversary gift. Who knows? Who am I kidding? Nobody wants one of my paintings for an anniversary gift. Well, she doesn't. She gets them all for free anyway, right? We have an abundance of our own paintings. Getting into the shadow, or the light, sorry, of the nose. How it pulls into the upper lid, up the upper part of the lip. So just refining now with that watercolor brush that really gets to a really beautiful point. And doing these strokes that kind of follow that form. Starting to think a little bit about the broken color now in the lights. Again, really building up towards the light. Where the hairline is. A little bit of what her hair in the back is doing. So what I would do with this painting when I'm finished is I'm going to attach it to an ACM panel and frame it. Right now it's on just a thin piece of paper, but I can use a neutral balance PVA glue and attach it to a panel. And it'd be perfectly archival because the panel is gessoed, or the paper is gessoed with an acrylic gesso. Getting into the eyebrow, kind of just making some finishing thoughts here. Softening brush again. That's just a big brush with no paint on it that I use to soften. coming into this part of the cheek and her chin. Thinking about what's going on a little bit with her neck. Again, using this brush just to slowly, like, kind of refine these edges and colors that I'm seeing in her eyes. And so that's the finish, quote unquote. Thanks guys for watching that process video. If you find this content valuable, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd love to see you guys on those lives, so hit that bell notification for when I'm live. I'm going to be posting the raw footage from this video onto the Patreon page, and it's only $5 a month, less than $60 a year, and it's a great way to support the channel. I'm doing a raffle for my latest demo painting that I did at the Scottsdale Artist School. Check out the raffle. I'll have a link. It's only 25 bucks a ticket, and you can win a demo painting that I've done. I'll see you guys next time and paint well. Cheers.